When 13-year-old Malik Johnson walked into his middle school auditorium, he didn't know the whispers weren't just about him being new, they were about what some students had planned. Malik was blind and black, quiet but polite, always keeping to himself. He had transferred in just a month ago, and despite his gentle nature, he'd quickly become the target of cruel jokes from a group of popular kids. One morning during a school assembly, one of them whispered to the principal that Malik had a great voice and should sing in front of everyone. They snickered, fully expecting a disaster they could laugh about for weeks. The principal, oblivious to the mockery, called Malik up to the stage. There was a murmur in the crowd as he walked slowly with his cane. Head held high despite the giggles he could hear all around him. Malik stood silently at the microphone for a moment. He took a deep breath, his fingers trembling slightly, and then he began to sing. The first notes of a change is gonna come filled the auditorium, and the room froze. His voice wasn't just good, it was powerful, soulful, filled with emotion and experience beyond his ears. It was the kind of voice that made you stop breathing for a second, made your heart ache and soar at the same time. Every lyric poured out of him like a prayer, a memory, a dream. The same kids who had mocked him were now leaning forward, mouths agape phones forgotten in their hands. By the time he hit the final note, the room was completely silent. And then, as if a spell had been broken, the crowd erupted into thunderous applause. Teachers were on their feet. Some were crying, even the principal had tears in her eyes. The boys who had set him up, they couldn't even look at him. Malik didn't smile. He just nodded quietly and made his way back to his seat. That one moment changed everything. The whispers turned into admiration. Teachers began asking him to perform at events. A local news crew came to interview him. A music teacher offered to give him free lessons. But most of all, Malik no longer walked the halls alone. Not because he needed help, but because people finally saw what was always there. A gifted, brave young man with a voice the world needed to hear.